Welcome to Secondary Voices and Topics from today's high school students.
Okay, that's enough of you, Mr. Chisman. I love you that. You're like my favorite who freaking teacher. So I had like two false starts because I couldn't figure out what I was gonna say. The first one I accidentally pressed the outro for the intro, but yeah. We're gonna be talking about stuff that kind of annoys me. And then we're probably gonna get sidetracked and yeah. I hate when because I'm really pale. Like, I'm a neutral pale. So I'm not really pink and I'm not really, oh my gosh. Blue. I'm not really cool toned. I'm not really warm toned. But I'm very pale. And it's super annoying to me when people are like, oh my God, you're not just pale. You just don't know your right foundation color. You need to go outside. I'm like, I burn if I go outside. If it is genuinely more than I don't know, like 50 degrees, I will burn. And like the sun's out, I will burn. But I find it really annoying just as a person in general when we're talking about how unhealthy obesity can be, but then we also don't talk about how unhealthy it is to be underweight too. Like, sorry, but like I hate when we're talking about stuff and people are like, oh my gosh. Like, if we're talking about body positivity in general, people are like, oh my gosh, I love fat women. I'm like, or something along the lines of that. But it's like, neither of them are healthy, you know? You're not supposed to be overweight. And depending on how tall you are, depending on, I don't know, just depending on how tall you are and how your body weight distributes. If you're like, say, 5'1" and 200 pounds, that would be obese for that height. Because especially depending on how your weight distributes, you're going to, I don't know how to explain that any further. But you're not going to be a healthy weight for your height. But if you're like, say, and this is fat, like not muscle. I know a lot of people who have more muscle than fat. Like, I know this one girl who is about my height, 5'3", and she's like 200 pounds, but that's in muscle. And it's like, what the heck, man? What the heck? Why can't I be that big? But it's super annoying when we're talking about it in general. Like, talking about how it's super unhealthy to be overweight, we just don't talk about how it's super unhealthy to be underweight. Because if you're like 5'3" and you're 98 pounds, that's underweight. Also, why do we as a society normalize being underweight? Like, I don't mean tremendously underweight, but I mean being like underweight. Like, yeah. And it's so annoying. It's because I'm a healthy weight. I'm like 5'2", 5'3". 5'2" on a bad day, 5'3" on a good day. That's also why I really like wearing heels. But I'm also like 115. Like 115. 115, 120. Around there. But I'm also just curvy in general. Like, I'm not super skinny, but I'm also not super fat, if that makes sense. I'm curvy. In the sense of it, I just have curves. Like, I'm sorry, I got curves, homeboy. Like, and I also don't hate my body. I feel like that's a big thing. If you're obese, you probably don't like yourself. And if you're underweight, you probably don't like yourself. Unless it's a medical condition. Listen to me closely. Unless it's a medical condition, go to the doctors. I mean, if it is a medical condition, go to the doctors regularly. But if it's not, I don't feel like obese people love themselves very much, and I don't feel like underweight people. There should be a word like obese for underweight people. I don't think if you're underweight or overweight, you love yourself very much. Because being underweight can kill you, and being overweight can kill you. Whether that be way of cardiac arrest or just plain dropping because your body's just gone and dead. And yeah. But it's kind of sad. I'm normally so much better at talking when there are other people here, but I don't know where Kennedy went. And Brooklyn normally doesn't do stuff with me anymore. But I miss Kennedy. Also, I'm so excited for spring break. I can't wait. I love spring break. Spring break is one of my favorite things. I love it. I just like breaks. I don't like being at school. I've had 7 days off, including the weekend. I had Tuesday and not Tuesday. Oh my God. Yes, Monday and Tuesday. I was off those days because I was sick though. I had Thursday and Friday off because of parent-teacher conferencing. I had the weekend off, and then I had Monday and Tuesday off because I was sick with the flu. And I'm most likely not going to be here for 8th hour either. Just because I couldn't really talk for like 3 days. So maybe I shouldn't sing. Or it like hurt to talk. And there's a maybe in there that I shouldn't really be singing. Teehee. Sorry. Sorry, I had to get that out of my system. I feel like you guys know what I love doing. And not that you can respond, but I find it like very fun to go like to pretty places that have like pretty bras, pretty underwear, and just pretty clothing in general, and just looking at them, like admiring the work. I don't really love Victoria's Secret though. They aren't like how they used to be. And I'm not talking about the models. I feel like definitely the new skinny should be healthy. And if you're at your healthiest at like 5'1" and 90 pounds, that's your healthiest. Because maybe you just can't gain the weight. Like, medically can't gain the weight. Or if you're like 6'7", I don't know. My mama's boyfriend's like 6'5", 6'7", and you are like, what would be a reasonable weight for that? Like 130 pounds, maybe 200 pounds. And that's your healthiest? Like, that's doctor-approved healthy? You're good. Like, the new skinny should be healthy and loving yourself. And I'm not saying that we should never have any insecurities, because that's bull crap. And everybody's going to have insecurities, no matter your race, your sex, your height, your weight, any of that. You're always going to have insecurities, no matter what. Whether that's your actual body or stuff you're doing, like your little mind. Like when you're not amazing at something, we have this immediate insecurity to just stop and not try anymore. And I feel like we should, like, if you're trying to lose weight healthily and you're trying to lose it for the benefit of you, to like make yourself feel better, I feel like to love yourself, you have to put in the work. And if you just love yourself as you are, great for you. But a lot of people either have to or should put in the work to love themselves. And whether that be physically or mentally, yeah. Yeah. But I feel like a lot of people who are on the softer or chubbier side want to lose weight or want to gain muscle, because I know a lot of people who I know want to be physically strong even if they don't look it. But yeah, also, what's this whole thing about thigh gaps? Like, why do we have this obsession with having big old thigh gaps? Like, it's not normal. Like, I'm talking about really, really big thigh gaps, like the huge, huge ones. Like, I'm talking about, like, you can, like, more than a hand width. Actually, you know what? I have decently long hands. If you're, I'm going to say it's about like 6 inches maybe from my wrist to my middle finger. If your thigh gap is more than 6 inches, you most likely have something a little bit wrong with you, mate. It's like, I gotta sneeze. Sorry, I had to sneeze really badly. But a lot of times, I don't know, I just get super pissed off about how we only talk about the downsides of being obese and not the downsides of being underweight. I also like that people are, it's so weird. Like, I have a bit of a pudgy stomach. Like, you can grab it. Like, the pinch an inch rule, I definitely go past that a little bit. I'm like, pinch 2 inches. But also on that note, why the hell did you do that? Like, schools in like the 90s, like the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s, why'd you do the pinch an inch rule? Because especially in high school, if you could pinch more than an inch, you were fine. Like, you're growing. You're going to grow into your body at some point. And I'm not saying this is like completely lose yourself, but that you're going to grow into your body. You were like 14 to like 17-year-olds. You're going to feel awkward and you're going to feel weird. But like, still, bro, you're growing into your body. It's normal to be a little chubby. And do I think everybody's going to lose the weight by the time they're, I don't know, 20, 30? Maybe not. Maybe you're just curvy, homeboy, homegirl, home person. Also, on that note, why do so many people get offended when you accidentally call them the wrong pronoun? Like, it's weird to me. Because if somebody called me a dude, I'd be like, oh, I'd gently correct them. But I know some people who literally get, like, super pissed off about it. I'm like, oh, so girly pop? Also, on that note, did everybody just listen to Cave Town during quarantine? I don't know why it's on that note, but but yeah, I think I'm gonna quiet down and listen up and leave. I hope y'all have fun. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Secondary. If you enjoy this content, then please, by all means, share it out. Subscribe to us on Spotify and all the other platforms where you listen to your podcast. Until the next episode, we'll see you then.